At night, a burglar named Edward Prees opens a window and awkwardly climbs into the kitchen. He sets his bag on the table and removes his mask before making his way into the drawing room. Spotting a chair, he moves the surrounding furniture aside and begins peeling back the carpet. Suddenly, a knock echoes at the door. When he opens it, he finds his brother, Harry, standing there with a large box in his arms. The box had belonged to their late mother and held great significance to her. The house, too, had once been hers. The brothers hadn't seen each other in years. Harry attempts to make small talk, but Ed quickly grows agitated. As Harry reminisces about their mother, he explains that he had to sell the house after her passing. Ed, who never had a good relationship with her, shows little interest in the sentiment. Instead, he presses Harry for information about the new owners. However, Harry knows nothing about them. The sale was handled entirely through the agents. They are searching for a hidden treasure within the house. With no other leads, they plan to perform a ritual to summon their mother's spirit and ask her about the treasure's location. Ed carefully marks 2 circles on the floor, drawing a star within them. After adding the necessary symbols, he places their mother's chair at the center of the formation, preparing for the ritual to begin. Harry returns, now dressed in their mother's clothes. As they prepare for the ritual, Harry remarks that their mother never spoke about their father. Ed responds that it's because their parents did terrible things together and made many enemies. Harry scatters crumbs over the symbols, while Ed lights an incense stick. Ed reminds him that they must complete the ritual within the next hour. Its power only works if performed before the first anniversary of a person's death. Harry grows increasingly nervous and backs out at the last moment. Ed, frustrated, insists that it has to be him, as their mother never got along with him. She resented him for building his own life and even blamed him for their father's death, even though their father had been killed for stealing from his own gang. Despite this, their mother had secretly kept the money their father stole. Ed knows this because he once saw her bank statements, confirming that the fortune was never lost. Ed forces Harry into the chair and begins pouring wine around him. He then starts chanting incantations. Once the chanting subsides, Ed picks up the box Harry had brought and places it behind Harry's back, removing the cloth to reveal a red parrot inside. Without hesitation, Ed takes a knife, but just as he is about to kill the bird, Harry intervenes. Harry tries to stop him. Ed grabs hold of the bird, and a struggle ensues as Harry desperately tries to reclaim it. The parrot breaks free, flapping wildly as it flies toward the kitchen window and escapes into the night. In a fit of rage, Ed punches Harry, ordering him to sit back down. With the parrot gone, Ed realizes that the ritual can no longer proceed as planned. Now, his only option is to sacrifice Harry in order to summon their mother's spirit. Just as Ed is about to carry out his grim plan, the lights suddenly flicker on, and a woman, Franny, enters the room calling out for her husband, Reggie. Ed, momentarily taken aback, tells the couple to leave and return the following day. The woman, Franny, suddenly strikes Ed in the leg, and Reggie follows up by kicking him in the face, knocking Ed unconscious. As Ed lies there disoriented, Reggie, misinterpreting the situation, assumes the 2 brothers were involved in some illicit relationship, especially since Harry is dressed as their mother. Reggie then reveals a shocking truth. He and their father, Harry Sr., were once members of the same criminal organization. Ed, still reeling, recognizes Reggie as Reggie Stone. Reggie casually adds that he and their mother were also familiar with each other. Reggie reveals that he was the one who killed Harry Sr. It turns out that Harry didn't know where the money was because he had given it to their mother, who had hidden it somewhere. Ed suspects that Reggie also killed their mother, believing she wouldn't reveal the location of the money. Reggie, undeterred, asks Harry what they were doing in his house. Ed doubts that Reggie will believe their story. Ed believes that Reggie bought the house because he thinks their mother hid the money somewhere inside it. Growing increasingly impatient with the brothers, Reggie decides that the only solution is to kill them both and bury their bodies in the forest. In a desperate attempt to avoid their fate, Ed reveals to Reggie that he was trying to summon their mother back from the dead, hoping she would tell them where the money was hidden. Reggie and Franny burst into laughter at the brothers' revelation. Reggie starts revving up his chainsaw, ready to carry out his deadly plan, but just as he prepares to act, Franny unexpectedly pulls the plug on the chainsaw. Glancing at the notes Ed had been using for the ritual, Franny suggests to Reggie that they should give the summoning a try. Reggie initially disagrees, but Franny, with a persuasive edge, convinces him to go along with it. Franny takes the knife, poised to kill Harry as part of the ritual. Just as she is about to strike, Ed intervenes, stopping her and insisting that Harry doesn't need to die for the ritual to succeed. Ed explains that the sacrifice requires flesh and blood, meaning they can cut off a body part instead of a full sacrifice. Reggie takes off Ed's shoe, revs up his chainsaw, and cuts off Ed's foot. With the severed foot in hand, Franny proceeds with the ritual. The spirit of their mother, Annie, appears, embodied within Ed's own body. Harry, overwhelmed by the sight, apologizes to her, expressing regret for not being there for her in the end. Annie, in Ed's body, reveals to Franny that she had been having an affair with Reggie for the past 20 years. The revelation enrages Franny, and in a fit of fury, she grabs the knife and stabs Reggie, ending his life. Ed passes out. Franny tells Harry to get out of the house once Ed is awake. She turns off the lights before leaving the room. As he regains his senses, Ed turns to Harry and confesses that he wasn't really possessed by their mother's spirit. It was all him. The entire possession was a ruse he orchestrated. Ed realizes the ritual didn't work because their mother didn't love him. The sacrifice had to be something she truly cared about. As he looks at Reggie's lifeless body, Ed suddenly understands. Reggie was the sacrifice, and he was something she loved. In that moment, the red parrot, which had escaped earlier, reappears in the room. It asks them what they want. The episode ends as Harry, desperate for answers, asks the parrot, "Where did she hide the money?" Please like and subscribe the channel for more videos like these.